Hi everybody, this is Seth from ComingOutTarot. I just wanted to share a story with you, hoping to give you a little more insight into who I am, where I've been, and part of the reason why I do this work, why I love to read tarot for people. And it actually started with the first queer relationship I ever had, the first boyfriend I ever had. Introduced me to a tarot reader, and even getting to that boyfriend state was weird and probably not handled the best way. I dated a woman for a long time. We were maybe 3 years. And during that time, we were graduating and trying to decide where to go to college and what to do next. And she was going off to University of Oregon. I was going to a small community college in the neighboring state of Washington, and I was ready to expand my horizons. I was ready to stay with my girlfriend. I was ready to move on in a career that I was expecting to shape my life. When I got to college, after being in this program for a little while, a girl that I was friends with, who later I found out was a lesbian. She went through a similar track as me. She went through this bisexual phase and then this like understanding where we were because we were sleeping with opposite gender people, and then realized that no, this is where we're further along the spectrum than we thought. Anyway, at the time, we were both kind of trying to figure out ourselves and where we were going, and she introduced me to another gay man my age. Just kind of started flirting a little bit. I was still dating my girlfriend at the time, and I didn't know what to do. I started leaning more towards sharing my time with him than sharing my time with my girlfriend. It all came to a head when I was at my girlfriend's house over Christmas break. I got a call from him. I left her house to drive the hour away to go to where he was and be with him. And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But things got worse after that. They didn't get better. Fast forward some time, I tell her that I'm exploring this bisexual phase. Then it comes to a point where I don't know if I can separate these things anymore. And she suggests, why don't we try having a threesome? He seems interested in the idea because he's a sexually explorative person. Well, maybe I would like this. I've had a sexual relationship with her. I've had a sexual relationship with him. Maybe together this will be fun. So it was a failed attempt. We all tried our hardest, but it didn't work out very long after that. I ended up breaking it off with her. I was like, listen, I can't do this anymore. It's just not fair to you, and it's not right for me. This is not true for either of us, and I need to let you live your own life, and I need to go live mine. Then I end up dating this guy for a little while. We are certainly not meant to be together. It becomes very evident we were meant to be together. We did terribly. I ended up living in his house for a while. We were together, but not. It was kind of uncomfortable. I didn't really break it off cleanly, so it was kind of like this weird, we're together, but we're not uncomfortable thing. We were sleeping in the same bed, in his bedroom, in his parents' house. It was just not right. So if I rewind a little bit to when I first met him, I had an agenda. When I met him and realized that there was an opportunity here, that he was interested in me and I could explore this part of my body, my sexual health, my sexuality, my understanding of who I was and what I'm capable of, I sought him out. In the end, I used him to get experience, understanding, to better know who I was. And that's not the kind of person that I ever wanted to be, I ever thought of myself as. And I've never done that to another person again in my life. Once I realized what I'd done, I changed my entire behavior. There's this point where your sexual deprivation takes over all decision. And I think that probably happens for a lot of gay men. That's been my lived experience. And I've seen it happen a lot to other gay men as well. We have this time of sexual deprivation where everyone's going through around us their own sexual awakening and discovery, especially for opposite sex couples. They're finding out about how to interact with each other, what it means to be around each other sexually, what it means to be around each other and have your hormones going crazy. And gay men don't get to do that at the same time. So while I did that with, a girlfriend, when it was time to do it with a boyfriend, it got out of control because I didn't know what I wanted to experience, where I was going or where he was going. I didn't know what the experience was going to be. I didn't know if the outcome of the experience was something I wanted. The choices I was making were, in the end, ultimately helping me decide that I would recognize and identify myself as a gay man in a society and a community that wouldn't accept me. So I was making a lot of poor choices because I was answering to my body instead of my head. And my head was going along with it. Like, yes, let's do these things and this will happen and this will fall into place. Now, I share this story to let you know I've made some horrible choices in my life. And I also share this story to let you know that this first boyfriend, he introduced me to a lady that was in school to learn to be a tarot reader. She was learning all of this tarot reading, and she did a reading for me and it blew my mind. I did a post about it, about the first tarot reading I ever had and how I got into tarot, and it was because of her. She literally told me about all of these things I was going through with my girlfriend, with my boyfriend, with my own sense of self and identity. The challenge for me is that the reading, while it told me who I was experiencing myself and what I was experiencing in people around me, it didn't tell me what to do next. And I didn't know enough to know to ask her, what do I do next? I didn't know to ask her what the outcomes of my choices would be so that I could explore those safely instead of challenging other people's emotions and lives and knowing that there were repercussions, or not understanding that there were even repercussions at the time. And I wish I'd understood more about tarot then to know to ask more questions. I wish I'd known that while I was going through this exploration of who I see my identity as, I wish I'd been afforded the opportunity to know that tarot could have given me insight into my own sense of self and the relationships in my life. It's like, what's the outcome of me dating this boy while I'm dating this girl? What's the outcome of me stopping my relationship with this girl and dating this boy? What's the outcome of me moving into his parents' house? How does that affect our relationship? How can I have a stronger relationship with my boyfriend? How can I have a different relationship with my girlfriend? How can I have a relationship what's the outcome if I stop my relationship with my girlfriend, and how can I have an impactful relationship going forward? What's the outcome if I don't have a relationship with her going forward? I could have saved so many hearts. I could have saved so much turmoil. I could have saved me making choices that I wish I'd never made, but I learned so much from. I just wish it hadn't been at the expense of others, and I think tarot could have helped me understand what those expenses would have been. I think the hardest thing in retrospect is knowing that I made choices that make me feel like a real jerk. I made choices that I still feel bad about today so that I could learn. I used these people's emotions and bodies to get there. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but it feels like I am some. But I know that tarot could have gotten me there, and that's part of why I created a spread called it's not a spread, a reading called Relationships Hidden, Insights Explained, because I wanted to understand the relationships in my life, and I wanted to understand them better, and I wanted to make sure that other people don't have to go through the same challenges that I went through, don't have to put the people in their lives through the same challenges that I put the people in my life through. Tarot could have got me through all of that. Could have gotten me through understanding more about me. It could have gotten me through understanding more about why I was chasing him. It could have gotten me through understanding what the outcome was of chasing him. It could have gotten me through understanding and reconciling how I can love this girl, this woman, how I can love her. But for this relationship, this first queer relationship where I felt like I used this guy and then went through a period of really having a relationship and trying to understand what it meant to have a relationship with a guy. And while relationships may feel the same, and we may pretend that relationships are the same with same-sex couples as it is with opposite-sex couples, they're not. There are some things that are fundamentally the same. The way you navigate the world as a same-sex couple is totally different than you do as an opposite-sex couple. The way you navigate your relationship, totally different because you don't have any examples. So we don't always see ourselves reflected as in opposite-sex couples. As a same-sex couple, we don't see ourselves. So we're making it up as we go. The examples that we have as same-sex couples are slim to none. And so we're constantly not only making up as we go what the rules are, but we're also trying to understand what it means to be us in a world that isn't either accepting or recognizing or visibly us. And I'm lucky. My relationship is white. If we want to get into some depth of that, even my first queer relationship, the one I'm talking about here, is white. So we had the power of privilege. We didn't have to worry about the additional concern of the color of our skin, the way we would be accepted as queer people of color, whether in a community itself or in the gay community at large. We didn't have to navigate even that. Like what it's like if you're a queer person of color, what it's like if you're a person who's realizing that they're transgender, and what does that mean for your relationships, especially when you're going through your own gender dysphoria, and how do we even better understand pronouns, and how do we as a community support you as you navigate not only your gender identity but your expression and trying to have a relationship. That's so overwhelming. I can't even begin to imagine. I'm hoping that I'll get to hear your stories in the comments below, or that there'll be response videos to this to share your stories. And if you're someone who's going through your first queer relationship, or if you're through your 50th, or a long-term queer relationship, and you're not quite sure what to do next, and you're worried about the impact that your choices are going to have on your husband, boyfriend, partner, whatever, think about and consider getting a tarot reading. That's why I created this Relationships Hidden Inside spread, because it is important to me to not have people make the same mistakes I did. Let's let tarot explore that, where it's safe and it's secure. Let's explore that together with someone who understands what it means to figure out if you're queer or gay, or has worked through some of these stories with transgender individuals, who is trying his best to not have people repeat the same challenges and mistakes that he's made in his life, all through something as amazing, fun, and as magical as tarot. All right, I hope this is helpful. If it is, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can keep track of each other. Hit that thumbs up if you find that this is helpful and the content is useful to you, because not only does it let me know it's helpful, but it'll get it in front of other people who need to hear the message as well. As always, do share out with your friends, please. I'd love for me not to be a secret. And if comments are tough and you don't want to throw something in the comment line, feel free to reach out to me over at ComingOutTarot.com. You can always find out more about me over there and the readings that I have to offer, and there's ways to contact me over there as well. Thanks, everybody.